are certain places across the country that you just look forward to anytime you can go there. And Alaska is one of those locations for me. I absolutely love it. What's not to love about it? They've got tons of animals, beautiful scenery, and just great people. Now, one of my favorite places to go is probably Southeast Alaska. And the reason? Well, it's pretty simple. They have some incredible bear hunting there. I'm here in Kayaking, and as you can see, well, there's a big cruise ship behind me. But that's not what I'm getting on. I've got 4 planes down below, and we're getting ready to head out doing a self-guided bear hunt. I've got a tent, a kayak, my 300 Win Mag, and a couple of predator calls. Now, we should be hitting it right on. A lot of these black bear are coming out of their dens. We've got perfect conditions. It looks like we might even have some nice weather. So we're gonna go out today, get the tent camp set up, and tomorrow I get to finally start hunting. Well, we've got almost all of our gear up here. We got dropped off on shore. We've got the tide going out right now. So the shoreline just keeps getting further and further away. But we're putting our stuff here. Then I'm gonna go inside, look in the trees for a nice flat spot to set up camp. And we've got a beautiful day right now. But that doesn't mean it's gonna stay, so we're gonna basically prepare for the worst. Put our tent in the timber, tie it off, get our tarps hung, get everything up and ready so that way when the weather turns bad, we got someplace to go and we can't hunt today anyway. So today is camp day setup. I love the nice weather, but it's a little hot. Now, not only is bear hunting probably my favorite thing to do in Alaska, but what I love about Alaska is it truly is a wilderness hunt. When you go up to Prince of Wales Island, well, you are dropped off in the middle of nowhere. Now, not every time do I hunt Prince of Wales. In fact, this year, well, I didn't draw the Prince of Wales tag. Now you have to put in a couple years almost ahead of time, and I didn't get the opportunity to get a tag. So I decided to hunt another area where I had a tag and do it the same way. And we were going to be camping for the next week, trying to do it ourselves on this hunt. We're all set up here overlooking this big grass flat, but as you can see, well, the tides really are coming in. Right now we're at high tide, and that's probably one of the things that makes hunting in Alaska right here so difficult. We're moving nearly 18 feet of water, so you always have to be prepared. We pull our kayaks all the way up in the trees, and as soon as this starts going down, it's just going to keep exposing more and more ground. It should make the hunting better and better. Right now it's about 3 o'clock, high tide, so we're going to hit low tide, I think right around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. So it should be perfect, low light situation. I'm hoping some of these bear will come through. There's a lot of grass around this area, and that's something a little bit different than how I'm used to hunting. Usually when you find a grass flat, that's where the bears are. But here, there's a lot of options for them. So I'm hoping this is a good location. If not, we may keep going up the river tomorrow. There's a Bear Lake, probably about 4 or 5 miles up. We may keep looking, but right now there's really no reason to go that far up. We found a good location. We've seen bear prints. We've seen all the sign of bear. We know there's at least one in the area, and I've got one tagged, so hopefully he can come through. But everything's going to keep getting better in the next 3-4 hours as this tide rolls out, and we'll have more ground to hunt.
Is there something you've been waiting for? Is there something you've been dreaming of? What if I told you you can make your dreams come true? Someday, blue skies.
For me, my love of Alaska probably started back when I was in high school. In fact, my parents brought my brother and I up to Alaska, and we traveled all around. We got a rental car, we got to go out halibut fishing. We had just a wonderful time. And of course, I did get lucky. I ended up catching a 180-pound halibut. It was so much fun, and just seeing everything up in Alaska, well, I was hooked for life. Now, I didn't get a chance to do any hunting back then when I was in high school up in Alaska, but I always knew someday I wanted to come back. And now that I've had a chance to hunt there several times, well, it's gonna be pretty tough to keep me away. lot of different ways to get around and to see where the bear are at. Now where we were hunting this year, there were no motors at all. We simply had kayaks. So one of the very first things, well, it's really going to limit how far away from camp you can hunt. The fact is, you're put in this camp, this is a good area. There's bear all over. Well, this is a completely do-it-yourself hunt that I'm on up in Alaska. Now, the only thing I have for a boat, well, that's my kayak that I have with me. And I'll be hunting national forest land, so it's a completely unguided hunt on public ground. Now, one of the things that I'm going to try to take into consideration is if I was hunting elk out on public land in Colorado, well, I would want to get off the beaten path. So that's exactly what I'm going to try to do here. Now, right now where I'm sitting, well, there can be big boats come in the bay looking for bear. There have been quite a few coming through, so I know there's probably bear in this area. But the one place those big boats can't get, well, it's where my kayak can. There's a river on the back side of this, and I can get up there with my kayak. Even during low tide, you may have to pull it some, but you can get back into those deep grass flats where there's not a lot of pressure. And just like anywhere, that's probably going to be your best areas. Another thing I'm going to do, put a couple trail cameras out. Hopefully I can get maybe some bear coming through. That would be ideal. The other thing, at least it's another way to scout when I'm maybe watching another area. But where we're set up right now, we can see probably 2 miles worth of grass flats. So we're just gonna sit here this evening, try to see what comes out. At least we can get a good vantage point, see what's going on. And every day, hopefully we'll just keep moving in deeper and deeper with thinking about the fact that, well, we gotta make sure we can get out at night before dark. I don't wanna be kayaking back and forth in the dark if at all possible. So that's something I'm gonna try to keep in mind. We've got a great camp set up, got everything together, and hopefully it should be a great adventure this week. Hopefully not an adventure in the bad way, but an adventure in the good way. Over the years, I've had a lot of success black bear hunting, and most of it has come from Alaska. Now, 3 out of 4 years, I've called these big boars in. Now, bears they're a predator just like anything else, and they are almost always looking for a hot meal. So you can use that to your advantage. But the one thing you have to keep in mind, regardless of where in the country you're gonna try predator calling a bear, is the fact that they are gonna use their nose and they're gonna use their ears to try to figure out what you are before they get too close. Just like it would be if you were hunting coyotes or fox using a predator call. They all do the same. They want to get downwind and they want to smell you first. So as a hunter, your number one goal needs to be to try to get to a location where when they try to get downwind, either they can't or you can get your shot before that. That's one of the things I'm always looking for on every setup. The other thing, well, you never want to bust a bear and then have them run off and then try calling them. All you're going to do is end up just teaching them and educating them that, well, that was a hunter, that's what's making that predator call. Don't come in. You do not want that to happen. So overall, if you can kind of keep some of those things in mind and try to hunt areas that are open enough so those bear can come to you, kind of you be the bait, it really does work out well. Can you see it?
Winchester Deadly Passion is presented by Cuddy Back Digital, Hard-Hitting Easton Arrows, Hunter's Safety System, Winchester Repeating Arms, Swarovski Optic, Scent Killer Gold with Hunt Dry Technology. Apply it, dry it, and go hunt. Rage Broadheads, leading the evolution in lethal technology. U.S. Sportsman's Alliance, protecting hunting from coast to coast. And Golden Triangle Whitetail, your hunt of a lifetime awaits.
Well, we've been sitting here all day. It's not quit raining, and we knew that the rain would probably come. We're hunting in southeast Alaska, pretty typical. So what we did is we scouted out an area that actually looked like it had the most sign. Right here, there's a lot of bear sign. There's a big green flat. So we've been sitting here. I think we got up at 5 o'clock this morning, and it's almost 9 now. So a long day, no bear so far. We got soaked this morning coming in, so as nice as the umbrella is, well, it didn't really help much because from basically the waist down, I'm soaked from having to pull our kayaks in. We hit it right at low tide. You can't paddle through, so you got to pull them, and it is not warm. As you can see, I've got probably 7 coats on, everything I possibly have in my backpack. I've got it on trying to stay warm because when you're wet, you just don't stay warm. So hoping tomorrow the weather gets better. We don't exactly have a weather forecast up here, so for right now, we'll just sit here till dark, get back, make some food. At least we got a nice hot mountain house waiting for us, a cold tent, and do it again tomorrow. One of the things that's different on this hunt, well, we're hunting pretty close to the mainland. In fact, we're on the mainland instead of Prince of Wales this time. So there's a lot more pressure here because people can simply get to it. So a lot of what we're doing, we want to get back off the beaten path. I don't know how many people have been through here. We're in the middle of May right now. Should be prime time for bears. A lot of these bears are coming down out of hibernation, and the first thing they want to do is they want to find grasslands and get their metabolism going. So it's kind of what we're going to try to key in on. Each day is going to be a new day, but warm, getting a nice fire going, everything's good, and hopefully tomorrow we'll find some big bears.
Tip of the week is brought to you by Field & Stream. Trusted brands, timeless traditions.
After years of coming up here to Alaska and hunting, well, you find out there's one thing you can count on. The weather is completely unpredictable. 1 minute can be beautiful, sunny conditions, and the next 5 days, it could be non-stop rain. And that's one of the things about hunting southeast Alaska is you really need to make sure that you're taking care of your gear and planning for rain. I keep all my stuff in dry bags, but you also want to make sure you're protecting your gun out there. Well, this year, I was able to find the gun slicker. Now, this thing is just awesome. It's a genius idea. What it is it basically folds down to about the size of a pair of socks. Then you can pull it out, and when the rain starts coming, you simply slip this right over your gun, and your gun is protected out of the rain. Now, one of the things being up here, well, your gun will get rained on, the salt water, it just makes a mess. In fact, I've completely destroyed guns being up here. So this was something that was really important to me and has been a huge help. Yesterday, it rained nonstop all day. I kept this over my gun, kept it completely dry. When I got back to my tent, I oiled it up, and it works great again, and it looks fabulous. We're on day 6 out here in Alaska, not a speck of rust on it, and this has been a huge help. Now, the other thing they make is actually a scope slicker. Now, this is just a little bit smaller, and it's what I like to use when I'm actually on a stock. Simply pull this out, and it'll keep your scope dry. That way, you don't have to worry about the rain fogging up your scope, having it all wet, and not being able to see the bear when the time finally comes. So this is great for stalking. The gun slicker is great for when you're sitting and waiting. And either way, now you can keep your gun completely protected, dry, and when the bear comes, you'll be ready.
Winchester Deadly Passion is presented by Winchester, the American legend. Matthews, catch us if you can. Field & Stream, where traditions begin. ScoutLookWeather.com. Download the free Deer Log app for your smartphone. Moose Utility Division, demand the brand. Bog Pod, versatility defined. M&P by Smith & Wesson. And Peak Antifreeze, right with your car and wallet. Peak, run true. Closed captioning is brought to you by the 4-in-1 Woodsman from Zippo Outdoor.
I enjoy about hunting up in Alaska is the fact that you're gonna see a lot more than just what you're hunting. Now, we were staying out in the middle of nowhere, way out, and we actually had whales come right into the area where we were hunting, probably 100, 200 yards from shore. Now that's pretty cool, but it's also a little bit scary. I never thought about being gobbled up by a whale up in Alaska, but I don't know if they'd do anything to a kayak, but I wasn't really interested in finding out either. So that's one thing that's always possible in Alaska. There's a bear. I just spotted a bear on the grass flat, probably about, I don't know, 800 yards away, but we've got a really good wind on it. He's just out there feeding right on the edge. I think he just popped out because we've been glassing this whole area. Just all of a sudden, a black spot appeared on the grass flat. So I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna hop in the kayaks, try to get as close as possible, then get out and start making the stock, get in close. These bears only stay out for maybe 10, 15 minutes, sometimes longer, but at least we got a good wind. We're gonna head that way. We're gonna be paddling right into the wind, but hopefully that bear will stay put. Can't tell how big he is, but time to go. That bear's just right around this corner. I'm gonna try to get, there's some rocks right up there. I think if I get there, I don't know, it's still not gonna be close enough, but I'm kind of running out of room unless I cross through the water. So I'm gonna try to get there, get set up. If he's still not close enough, I can't see him right now, I might try predator calling, but I'm hoping that's gonna be close enough. Are you on it? We just had a really cool encounter. We had a bear come out this evening. We spotted it all the way across the bay, made a mad dash over to get close to it, and we got within 400 yards. The problem is I don't want to be taking a 400-yard shot if I can help it. So I decided to try calling a little bit on my predator call. He looked up like I thought he was going to come, but he ended up bailing into the trees. Then he came actually back up. I continued calling because I thought maybe he's going to try to get downwind. Unfortunately, our wind switched. I think he smelt us and took off. That's one of the things. I mean, I don't think he's the most dominant bear out here. He wasn't huge by any means. He was rubbed up on his back legs, but still really cool. It's the first bear we've seen of the trip. Fun to see that we got in, made a great stock. Just didn't work out, but not every one of them will. 400 yards is a long shot. If I can, I'd like them 300 and in. That way, we've got a dead bear on the spot. But we're out here. It's absolutely beautiful this evening. I'm hoping with this bear coming out, maybe more and more will start coming out. Today's our last day and we've been out here glassing through this awful weather all day. We've had wind, cold, rain, the fog's moved in, just been a nasty day. And unfortunately, no bears have been moving and we put in a great trip. It's been awesome out here, but looks like I'm gonna be going home without a bear. But even without a bear, it really has been just an incredible trip. I mean, it's not every day you get to spend a little over a week out in the middle of Alaska all by yourself, no one to bother you out here. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The views are breathtaking, and spending it all on a kayak, I mean, we haven't had electronics, we haven't had motors, we haven't had anything out here this entire time. So it's really been a lot of fun. We've had decent weather overall. Today's been pretty bad, couple pretty rainy days, but you're in Alaska, you expect a little bit of that. You just really enjoy those nice, sunny, warm days and enjoy them to the fullest. And overall, it's another great year up here in Alaska. Can't wait to do it again. Maybe next time I can go home with a bear, but I had my chance. I chose to not shoot him. A little bit rubbed up, a little bit far, and a little bit small. Just the way it goes sometimes, but can't wait to be back.